Cyborg has threatened the UFC and basically stated if they don't create the featherweight weight class in order to allow her to not go through such drastic methods in order to meet a certain catch weight that she has had to since joining in March, then she's out. She's gone. She's a goner. Bye-bye. See you later. So as we know, Cyborg, who joined the UFC, as I mentioned, in March this year, she's fought twice under the UFC banner, and both times have been outside her weight class and at a catch weight of 140 pounds. Now, if you've seen the clip we did before, Cyborg has put her body through pretty rigorous methods, Jason, in order to try and meet these tough demands for her. She taped it. It was crying. It was brutal. It was awful to watch. And at times, you do feel sympathetic. Well, most of the time, we do feel sympathetic for her. So at the moment, Jason, the UFC has two women divisions. That is a strawweight at 115 pounds and bantamweight at 135 pounds. So I think she's got a case. Most of the sane world thinks she's got a case. Yeah. But the UFC doesn't seem to be budging. And if they don't, she's outie.
Why not expand another division? What's the danger in this?
One, there's a reason to why they should do it, which is allow them to fight at a reasonable weight. But two, you're going to get the Cyborg Ronda Rousey fight that you've been trying to get for however long it's been touted.
That's a really good point as well. I just look at this and I go like, Cyborg's words, I'll keep fighting so that, hey, open more divisions. If I don't have a division in the UFC, I'm going to go to another company like Bellator or another organization where they have my division. I'll keep fighting for that. Yeah. I don't think she's necessarily after the money in this situation. She turned down 2 title fights because it's not by her stipulations. Now, I also understand that the UFC takes a while to get to budge because they don't like being leveraged, like when people like McGregor can leverage them, and I'm sure Dana White doesn't want more people figuring out how to leverage him in these situations. Yeah. But what doesn't make sense to me is that there's only 2 women's divisions, and this is the one sport in the world that I'll make such a drastic statement, save for maybe the Women's World Cup, that competitively keeps the interest of so many people for headlining fights. Name me one finals or championship anything, save for the Women's World Cup, and maybe I guess some Olympic sports, but those are every 4 years, where you're saying, I'm going to go watch the title fight between Rousey and Nunez like you would for any other sport.
Yeah. I think it's very true.
It's cornered a market. I guess I'm actually underselling Serena Williams, but I believe that Ronda Rousey is going to have more eyes on her than Serena did during some of her championship runs.
All right, let me make another bold point to oop the alley that you gave me on one bold point. Is if Ronda Rousey loses to Amanda Nunez, they will make a division for Cyborg. Because they will no longer have Ronda Rousey losing back-to-back consecutive big-time fights means that they no longer have the staple face on women's UFC. There's been some great, we know Miesha Tate's on her way out. She said she's retiring. She retired. Holly Holm held it for one fight. Yeah. Amanda Nunez looks devastating. She's got all that personality and charisma that goes along with the Ronda Rousey. We don't really know yet until we see. But Cyborg, we know, is a captivating figure. She is a phenomenal athlete. She attracts a mass audience. If Ronda Rousey loses that next fight, Dana White will, because he'll see the dollar signs, we've got to open up the division. We've got to keep Cyborg there. She's got 2 fights left on her contract, and she says she's not fighting.
It continues to pose such interesting questions for 2017 and so many remarkably good fights to make in the first quarter of 2017 alone. January, February, March, there's going to be some phenomenal fights, including the first ever fight in Brooklyn at the Barclays Center, which will be big. So the second event in New York City, which will do well itself. And by the way, we're a day away from. I think this clip is going up the day of UFC 206. So obviously, there's a big fight in Toronto, which I want to say a little shout out to our friends over at the Fight Network.
Nice. By the way, to rebuttal my own bold point, I said that if Ronda Rousey loses, which again I think will happen, if Ronda Rousey wins, I think they'll still need to consider, because Cyborg is not going to fight. If they want that Ronda Rousey-Cyborg fight to happen, because if Ronda beats Nunez, who's she got?
I think she's retiring if she wins.
Is that really what's going to happen? I don't know, man. It's just so confusing with Ronda Rousey. But either way...
Her and Miesha are going to, take over the retirement world.
Well, we know Ronda's
Ronda and Miesha's retirement village.
I'd watch it. If it was a reality show, I'd watch it. But you got to feel for Cyborg in this instance. Like, no one should have to put themselves through a ridiculous amount of pain, despite the fact that, pain is gain. I think that's a movie. It was pretty bad. if you want to put yourself through this training in order to get to a position where you are succeeding, yes, I understand that, but that doesn't mean drastically cutting yourself to the point where it is detrimental to your health, especially in a sport where women's MMA is so captivating. It pushes forward this whole thing that we've been fighting for when it comes to equality in sports. Women's sports is interesting to watch. So you know what you do? You further it. You progress. You give different weight classes so you get more captivating fighters to come in.
I find that every single UFC women's fight or Bellator women's fight, any women's MMA action or boxing can be as captivating, if not more captivating, than men's. And that's rare for a lot of sports in this world. It's just true. It is. I mean, I think tennis has that ability. I think soccer has that ability when it comes to the World Cup stage.
Because the
but
men's
on
soccer
a
team
year by year, month by month level, combat, man, it's a natural instinct. We like watching people beat the crap out of each other.
Give the women a division.
Dana White claimed this, by the way, and we'll put this in. What's crazy about this is I offered Cyborg a title fight at 145 pounds a month ago. She had 8 weeks to get ready for it and said she couldn't make the weight. Then I offered her another 145-pound title fight in Brooklyn, UFC 208. She turned it down. She turned down two 145-pound title fights. She did that because she doesn't want to fight at a catch weight. She wants to fight for her own division.
Yeah.
If you're willing to make catch weight fights, or not just catch weights, but make fights at 145, make a division for 145.
I agree.
Just make one. It doesn't hurt you. It's more fights. It's possibly more competitiveness. Because right now, the strawweight division, run by Joanna, and the bantamweight division, the belt changes every single week. Maybe the featherweight division causes. Maybe it's the best division that ever came out.
Yeah, and
maybe it is. Maybe
Cyborg is the one. Well, at the moment,
maybe
we know
she dominate.
Maybe she's the only one that's going to dominate. She's the only one that's going to.
But
come
that's
into
good.
That. Yeah.
If she were to go for 5 or 6 straight title defenses in her own division, how is that bad for the UFC? You get more narratives. You get more storylines.
All right, comment below. What do you think? On Twitter, Francis_Maxwell, Jason Rubin 91. And we'll catch you guys very, very, very soon. Do you see they took out one of our clips with bagpipes the other day?
Why?
Always great. They took out. No, they took out, meaning they took us out on the clip.
Oh.
Like, take me home. They took us home on the bagpipes.
Shots fired. They took us out with bagpipes.
Oh. They're heavy. They've got pipes.